Yeah. Yeah. You brought up Lululemon, and kind of how they also, took some share against Nike. And I'm just curious on your thoughts on Lululemon in general right now. It seems like they're kind of getting hit by a couple different brands as well that are trying to take into their space. What was that recent brand that started out as a men's
Vuori,
line?
Vuori,
What's it called?
Vuori,
Vuori.
Vuori.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yes,
that's
yeah,
taking some share there. So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, no, no. So listen, I think I'm a Lulu girl through and through. A lot of times when I'm on CNBC, I'm actually coming in virtually. We have all the contributors get a whole setup at home, and a virtual setup. And so from the pandemic in 2020 through to um, you know probably as early as this year, every time I was on CNBC virtually, I was in Lulu leggings. And if I was talking about Lulu the stock, I was talking about the fact that I was still in Lulu leggings. But they've had some issues, over the past few years. I mean, things like supply chain issues. I think they have some issues with some of their SKUs. You don't necessarily need 20 colors of like one thing, right? And a lot of Lulu's magic was that you would walk into the store and get that in-store experience, and you really feel like that you were an athlete, right? That they recognized you as an athlete, and then that they were also really amazing at transitioning that in-store experience. Maybe that was like the entry point for clients, but transitioning that to the app, they were amazing at that, which was very good for them during a pandemic, because now nobody had to walk into the store. They were already a customer. They had the app. They knew what they wanted. Just add to cart, add to cart. So that's really interesting, but they're struggling right now. And so we see brands like, I think that the biggest competition for Lulu right now is Vuori, which, as you mentioned, started as a men's line, but it is the fabric is amazing. Lulu has a fabric called a line that people went crazy for. You could literally sleep in these leggings. But funny enough, when they first came out, you really couldn't work out in them because they would just get a little like pilly. But they changed the formula and they're a little bit better now. But they're just so comfortable. These are the leggings people live in. Well, Vuori, and this is probably something nobody's talking about, but Vuori comes out and makes this has this fabric that is so soft, so great, and they actually put it in a performance legging, right? And it feels to me as soft as this Align. Doesn't feel perfect. You can work out in it, you can do all these things, you still look great. But I see the difference the in the business model from Lulu to Vuori, and they have much fewer SKUs than Lulu. It's more of a simpler business model, but they are popping up. It's sort of a brand out of California. They're popping up everywhere, and they're taking a page out of Lulu's book. They're listening to women. They're listening to men. It really is a solutions based product. So I think Lulu's biggest competition is Vuori, and then second, I would also say Skims. And so, but they have brand recognition. I think they can really turn this around. They have the brand recognition that Vuori doesn't necessarily have right now.
do they have the
And
brand
so
recognition or the brand ambassador? Or is it
they
one
have
and the same?
they have both. They have both.
Yeah.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm saying Lulu has brand recognition, right? So
Oh, got
yes,
it. My bad.
Skims, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Skims
Yeah.
has the brand ambassador, right? So there is no. I mean, and here's the thing: Skims is really a great brand. They are a solutions
Yeah. No, you're
based
right.
brand,
I
but what
think
brings
Skims can
people
stand on its
in is
own
Skims.
outside of Kim Kardashian. I think
Maybe
I
now,
really do.
now they
I think
can.
people obviously when it started, no, but I think now it can stand on its own.
Yeah,
So as far as how it's grown as a company, definitely.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I do think so, but nothing takes the place of Kim putting
Of
something
course.
on and then next day sells out.
Yeah.
Well, when
Yeah.
it drops, because she
That's like what
posts what's
happens with my
coming.
Knit Mint sweatshirts here. So if you want to
That's
buy these
it.
Knit Mint sweatshirts, you see me wearing it, they can fly
And
off
do
the
I get one
shelf.
for free? Actually,
You,
I have
you
one of
you
those.
get yeah, you get
I
one for being on
do.
the show. I'll bring you one. They're actually super comfy and cozy. We don't sell our merch, but maybe we should start selling the merch.
Maybe. Yeah.
But we do have some dope technology with RFID inside of clothing, so we'll talk about that a
Really?
different day,
That's
and
awesome.
we'll add that to the merch. Um, yeah, no, I think I think that's super interesting. I totally agree on what you're saying there. When it comes to just the market share that they're really grasping and getting. But, one thing I kind of started thinking about as you're talking about this is a lot of times we think about competition as like direct competition, right? So we have,
Mhm.
Vuori, Skims, Lululemon, probably similar price points, like similar customer set. I always like to use this analogy of food because I love food. But if you were thinking, if you owned a Mexican restaurant, for example, and there was a Mexican restaurant across the street, you might say, like, oh, my competition is the Mexican restaurant across the street. When in
Mhm.
reality, your competition is also the Italian restaurant, the Japanese restaurant, the
Yeah.
pub, because your competition is every alternative to you.
Yeah.
So you can only eat once, per meal, basically. Most people can at least. And so,
Yeah.
kind of similar with clothes, you can only wear one, legging at a time. So,
Yeah.
I'm really interested to do on your thoughts, and I have some of mine when it comes to like Sheen and Toomey, or not
Oh.
Toomey. What's the other one called? There's Shane, and then
Oh, it's
to,
hold
Toomey is
on.
the bag, luggage bags, not
Timu.
Timu.
It's
And
Timu.
Timu, right? So you have like these really low cost,
Fast
fast
fashion.
fashion alternatives that you see them promoted in the TikTok shop, and in Instagram shops, etc. And often when they're promoted, they're like, oh, this is Lululemon without the label, or this is, Skims without the label. And, if you know about manufacturing, just because it's manufactured in the same exact factory, even, and I actually doubt that it is, but even if it was manufactured in the same exact factory, that does not mean that one has the label and one doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but again, you have these alternatives, and they're a lot of times they're either directly copying existing fashion houses,
Yeah.
or maybe like making something slightly different. So, um, I think if people want to wear something like that, by all means. I'm not a fan of counterfeit goods, obviously, because our whole company uh, primarily revolves around preventing counterfeit goods.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've actually had a conversation with people before. We're like, well, what about the people that want to buy counterfeit goods? I'm like, well, yeah, we're obviously not building products for people that want to buy counterfeit goods.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's always going to be people buying a fake Louis bag on the streets of New York City.
Oh, Canal
But
Street. Yeah. I'm in New
yeah,
York right now. So yeah, you could just go down to Canal Street and get a Gucci bag. Like, yeah.
yeah, but obviously it's not, and counterfeit goods is a $3 trillion industry. So that's
Yeah.
a lot of money that these brands lose, and not only do they lose out on the actual revenue, but it's also the brand perception. If you purchased a product thinking that you're buying the real thing, and it's a dupe, you're going to have a little bit of a negative sentiment even towards that brand, even if they had nothing to do with it.
But it's not real, right? Like you're not going to get a Louis Vuitton bag for like, $100 or sixty
Oh, of course
dollars.
not. Well, so
Yeah,
that actually makes me think of
a
like the
brand new
Hermes
one. Yeah,
Birkin bags, where,
yeah.
um, you can get a really nice dupe Hermes Birkin bag, but and it's very nice leather. The interior is very nice. The threading is very nice.
Is that what you
But
bought? Did you buy it
no,
on Canal
no, I
Street?
don't. Well, I don't use purses, but
Really?
but
That's-
but you can get something like that. But even that is going to cost you like $700 to $1,000, because to make a really good dupe, you have to have really
The real stuff.
high
Material.
um yeah, high material, but also high quality in in the actual creation of the good.
Yeah.
That being said, did you hear about the Walmart Birkin bag, the Workin?
Stop it. Stop it.
No,
Absolutely not.
this is actually fascinating.
No.
So
I
Walmart,
refuse.
I should have a graphic on this. I forgot about this, but Walmart is selling a bag that it's, you know, the joke name, or what people are saying online is the Workin. But it's essentially, it looks exactly, not exactly, but it looks very similar to a Birkin bag. It's actually a high quality looking bag, and it's being sold for about $89. And it's not called a Birkin, but it looks similar to a Birkin.
Yeah.
And they're sold out already. You can't even get these bags.
Now
So
I've got to look this up.
yeah,
Walmart Birkin bag. Now I'm gonna
Walmart
go look
Birkin
this
bag.
up.
Yeah,
I just want to see. You know, I mean, okay.
yeah,
Oh
yeah. So
yeah. I just it's come up. You're kidding me right now.
yeah,
You
yeah.
are
I want to
kidding
get one.
me.
Just I want to get one as an article, like a historical, piece, because I have a feeling those won't be around very long.
Oh, there's some on Amazon too. There's some on Amazon too.
Yeah.
But look
Well,
at this. I
the
don't know if you
problem
guys
is if
can
you
see this. This is the Walmart Birkin bag. It looks
right.
just like it. This is insane.
And
Insane.
I've seen people review it, and they're saying that it's a good bag. You know, it's a nice looking bag. But you could buy a Hermes Birkin bag for 20K, or a Workin from Walmart for 80. Obviously, there are going to be two different demographics, likely on that. But nonetheless, there's markets for different people and different things. Don't counterfeit. Get something like similar. That's fine. But counterfeit goods, not a fan of.